All right, let's roll. The Wicked Wednesday has begun. The pimps, the players, the hustlers, the people, the bust, and everybody else in between. From Costa Rica to California, Montreal to North Bergen, New Jersey. I think that's where we are right now. I think we're technically in Union City, to be honest. I don't know why it says North Bergen. I'm actually in Union City. But nevertheless, we apologize. A little bit late, but better late than never. Whatever. Not really all that late. I've started this show and I'm doing it in the condo. So we throw it down on this Wicked Wednesday. It's been quite the couple of weeks. Whatever. You guys aren't tuning in to hear me talk about my crazy ass life, but I got to tell you, it's been a fucking grind. It hasn't just been a grind here, but it's been a grind like leading into this, from Las Vegas to Vancouver to New York to New Jersey, back to New York to New Jersey to like just to the Meadowlands to everywhere else in between. I've literally been here. I got here at like 10:01 or something like that. Like I've just stepped up. I haven't even like breathed and shit. Wednesdays are tough because I do another show Wednesday night after the radio show. It's not the shows, like I talked about. It's not the shows that's getting to me. It's like this hotel, the traveling. Guys, I got to fucking take like a ferry, a bus. Then I got to wait for the chick to show up and pick me up because there's no way to get here to the side of the road. So thank God, man, for this chick. Otherwise, I'd be screwed. But it's not cheap, man. This chick didn't drive me around for free. From Moncton to Milwaukee. Paul says I look tired. Thank you. I always look tired. David Mangler says that's the only reason you tune in. Day today, but it was a pretty uneventful day. Basically, listen, like I've got issues. All right, I've got big issues. I don't really want to get into, but we've got problems. All right. I'm trying not to panic about these problems, but the problems hopefully will be resolved tomorrow. And when we say we got problems, it's always, of course, yes, it's money problems. Man, we had to shell out like $9K basically to move into a motherfucking condo, man. And we're not even in a condo. So you shell out $9K and then you got to live in a hotel after. Takes a lot of fucking FanDuel fucking winning tickets to cover this shit. Good to see Jazz in the house. What's up, Sean Robertson? I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Michelle Serpico. I like her accent. Paul says increase Patreon. No, I don't have overall monetary issues, Paul. I have monetary issues like right now. Like as in I don't have any money like right now. That's my issue. I do have these New York Jet winning tickets. See, I like this guy. Man, we have a lot of fucking dumbasses online. This guy says, why would I bet at FanDuel? They charge 150 money line on a game when every book is 120. First off, every book is minus 110. And secondly, FanDuel isn't minus 150. Have you ever been to the FanDuel book before? Look, it's a pretty simple ticket here, dude. Minus 110. Minus 110. Yeah, like that's it. Like we're playing minus 150. Fuck. So it's minus 110. Pretty simple. It's minus 110. Whatever. FanDuel had a bad line on the fucking World Cup final and like their first day of operation type thing. And, has nothing to do with football. So, yeah, we'll probably do the radio show. Yeah, the Dutchland shit was gold today. The Dutchland shit was gold. Like, I got to be honest. Like, I don't laugh very often. Like, she genuinely makes me laugh on a daily basis. There's usually one or two lines a day that she drops that just fucking kill me. No, FanDuel is not in California, Kid the Groove. No, it's only in New Jersey. Yeah, she's good for like one. Yeah, when we said like, so if someone's from Dutch, what country are they from? And the best is she goes Belgium. It's like, no, that would make them Belgium. Like, to be honest, like she's smarter than Eric Cohen was. Jerry Rice, Cohen would have at least tried to. That's the whole thing. She really wasn't kind of wrong. But if you've noticed though, if you notice though, any music question she was fucking nailing. Like any song, like any you notice this today, any music fucking question that came up, she knew right away. Listen, man, Michelle makes like fucking $1,500 a night fucking bartending. I don't think she's as dumb as people think. I think she knows exactly what she's doing. She is very cool. She's a cool chick. I don't talk to her that much, though, I'll be honest with you. She doesn't talk that much, like off the air. She's very like it's TV guys, right? It's TV. She's not as bubbly off the air. She's not as bubbly off the air. She's really nice though. Like in real life, she is. Like I partied with her once, and she parties pretty hard. Like she's very cool to party with, but it's early in the morning, right? So it's actually pretty funny. It's actually pretty funny. Like we just sit there from 8 till 9, and it's just like pure silence. Carden will say a couple of things to me. I don't really say anything to anyone. I just sit there looking fucking angry and tired. Like I show up and I sit there like at the desk like this. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm just sitting there like this, my hand. Fucking Carton's cracking up. Fuck. Carlin's like, yeah. He's like, welcome to the big leagues. Fuck. I'm fucking sitting there. Every day I just eat my McDonald's breakfast looking angry. No shit, dude. I'm leaving. I'm leaving at 6, Chaz. Like I left this hotel at 7 a.m. and I just got back at 10. And I was working all day, so I don't even know how many hours that is. 7 to 7 is 12, so 15 hours. And now this show 2 hours. See, I'm working about 17 hours a day. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it about 16, 17-hour days here. What do I do for work? What is this, Paul T? Like, what do you mean? What do I do for work? Oh, thank you. Yeah, great shit with what do I do for work? Fuck. I work at the Penske factory. I work at the Penske factory during the day. Yeah, so yeah, if you missed it, me and Gamblu had a big disagreement on the radio today. But it was good. It was no hard feelings, you know what I mean? But I appreciate that. Like I said, this isn't the 60s. I get his whole point. I get it. Like I got the whole point, but I was just being realistic. It's 2018. It's a business, and there ain't no team and huddle and bullshit. All right. They're just players. It's just money. Fuck. And, you know, Lou got pretty upset about it. And he got me upset. So I started yelling, and Lou was yelling. And I think Lou started swearing. Hey, I thought it was great radio. I thought it was great radio. Thanks for tuning in, Chris Stewart, and giving us a hit. We appreciate it. And as we boot you out right now, we know you will sign up and give us another hit. Thank you. Exactly. You guys know. You guys know I was right. You guys know I was right. So, yeah, I've never been in a huddle. Fuck. I've been around sports my entire life. And I don't know what huddle Lou was in for 40 years either. I love Lou, but it was like 40 years. I mean, I think you're exaggerating. It was fucking funny. It was great. So like, but basically, I said that. Basically, I said that Le'Veon Bell's teammates are dickheads. Like they should shut up. Fuck. It's none of their business whether he's there or not. It's not like, oh, he's letting the team down. This isn't fucking Pee Wee. Fuck. Like this, well, he's not letting any team down. Like I said, man, my point about Earl Thomas was right. Earl Thomas says, oh, you know, I don't like I don't like the situation, but I'm going to fucking play for my teammates. It's like, yeah, well, they know you were going to do that, and that's why they won. So in other words, you bent over for the owner. Like Le'Veon Bell's not bending over for them. Fuck, you know? Now listen, I would handle it differently than Le'Veon Bell would. I'm not saying that. I'm like, you know, I'm not all Le'Veon 100%, but as far as Le'Veon Bell's teammates throwing him under the bus, like they should shut the fuck up. Like I can't wait till they get fucked for their contract, and then you know they're going to see. It's all relative. They said if the offensive lineman says, "Oh, Le'Veon Bell should shut up. He makes 7 times more money than I do." Well, dude, maybe you shouldn't have eaten so much pizza and been a running back instead of an offensive lineman. You know, like, dude, you know, that's the position you play. Like, if the NFL players turn their backs and throw people under the bus for trying to get more money, then they're always going to get fucked over by the league. Like, they should applaud. They should applaud. Like in the old days in the NBA, with Michael Jordan and with like Patrick Ewing and like in those Larry Bird in that era, the NBA Players Association now is the best. But in those days, it wasn't. And in those days, all the other players used to complain. And they all said that, you know what? The NBA Players Association is all just about Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing and shit. It's only about the top tier guys. Like Michael Jordan used to make $30 million a year. Like he made as much money as the guys make now then, right? And everyone else didn't make any money. So the NBA, it changed. Like the NBA players, like were like, fuck this, man. Fuck you superstars. We all should get paid, not just you. And that it's almost gone too far now in the NBA where every scrub makes $22 million a year. I think it has gone too far. So, but the NFL, at least the NBA players are in agreement that, hey, we need more money, right? Like the NFL players, bitch, oh, we get fucked. You know what? You don't care. We're going to sue you for concussions. And then, all right, the NFL makes a rule. Don't tackle with your head. Then Richard Sherman bitches. It's like, dude, you're the same one bitching about concussions and how the league doesn't do anything. Now they're trying to help you and you bitch. And now all you players bitch about, oh, we don't have guaranteed contracts. The NFL fucks us over. The owners are assholes. The owners are racist. And then you got a brother on a team who's a superstar who's losing $1 million a week by holding out. And you throw him under the bus. You want him to come to work for cheap. Exactly. Like Erie Uber is saying, Erie Uber, what's up, Erie Uber? Like Erie Uber is saying, someone's got to step up. Look, Odell Beckham Jr. did the same thing. Odell Beckham Jr. did the same thing. He told the New York Giants, listen, I want to play, but, don't fucking lowball me. Like, you guys, like, let's do this for real. If you want me to be on your team, fucking pay me. And the Giants did. And Odell Beckham's happy and he shut up. Khalil Mack said the same thing to the Raiders. You guys fucking pay me. If you want me to play, pay me for real. Like, don't just, use me for a year and like put me on the mark, whatever. And like I said, the Raider players all said, they were like, we're happy for Khalil. They're like, it sucks he's here, not here. But they're like, man, the guy got $23 million a year. We're happy for him. And Khalil Mack just pushed up the market for other linebackers. Like in a couple of years, when there's some fucking stud linebacker on the market, he's going to say, hey, Khalil Mack got $23 million a year. I should get $23 million. I'm as good as Khalil Mack. Like Khalil Mack just helped everybody. Like Le'Veon Bell is trying to help every running back in the NFL. Like if you're Joe Mixon, Le'Veon Bell's trying to help you. You're in your second year in the NFL. You look like you could be maybe a star. In 3 years, you're going to be in his position. And he's trying to get you more money. He's getting himself more money, but he's setting the table for everyone else. Look at Marty Brodeur with the New Jersey Devils. Martin Brodeur loved playing for the Devils. He was a team guy. And, he didn't want to go. He liked the Devils. But the thing is, he always did the hometown discount all the time. He was like, and the Devils took advantage of it because they knew he doesn't want to leave. So Martin Brodeur, Martin Brodeur made a lot of money, but the NHLPA used to get mad at him. And they used to say, listen, fuck, either you like fucking bluff and sort of pretend that, you're looking elsewhere, or get aggressive with them and tell them, listen, fuck, you got to fucking pay me because you're one of the best goalies ever. And you're the best goalie in the league, yet you're accepting less money and you're bringing down the market for every other fucking goalie because other teams are going to say, we're not going to pay you more money than Martin Brodeur. Like, that's the way this market works, fuck. Like, Lou should know that, like, like, Le'Veon Bell isn't selfish. Le'Veon Bell is helping future football players. Like, Le'Veon Bell is the one, how is he selfish? He's the one losing $855,000 a week right now. But one thing I will say, I would handle it differently than him. He's always, listen, Le'Veon Bell's a prima donna, okay? I'm not in love with the guy. I just don't think his teammates should throw him under the bus. I'm not like Le'Veon Bell's biggest fan or anything here. I don't think Le'Veon Bell's as good as he thinks he is. He's good, but, have the Steelers won with him? No, So, but my whole point is just was always his teammates. That's the whole thing. I'm not angry about the situation. It's a contract holdout. It is what it is. Now, this is the NFLPA's problem, where the franchise tag thing sucks, all right? Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. Kirk Cousins, they can't have it where you franchise tag someone every year. It's bullshit. It's stupid. They got to eliminate the franchise tag. Because you look at even Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was miserable in Washington. The team sucked. It caused a toxic atmosphere in the room. It was like Cousins didn't want to be there, but they kept tagging him. And it was ridiculous. Fuck. And you saw last year, by the end of it, Cousins didn't give a shit. He was like, fuck these guys. Fuck. I'm sick of it. I want to get out of here, and they're forcing me to stay. It's bullshit. And, so that's the thing. It's not the Pittsburgh Steelers' fault they franchise tagged him. That's part of the rule. The NFLPA was stupid to allow this franchise tag bullshit. What happened when they did it? Listen, the NFL players are stupid, and the Players Association roll over all the time. So when they did it, they probably thought to themselves, and they were like, oh, the franchise tag's not that bad because you'll get paid in the top 3. You're going to make a shitload of money. So whatever, it's not that bad. But now they realize it is bad because you risk injury, right? So they franchise tag you. Let's say they franchise Le'Veon Bell. Let's say Le'Veon Bell gets hurt this year. He's fucked. He's fucked. They're not going to re-sign him at the end of the year, and he's done, right? So it's a slippery slope here. Like, the Steelers are dickheads in the sense that why didn't they ever just extend him? Why didn't they just ever extend him? Why did they let it get this far? Because they never planned on paying him. That's the thing. And he knows this. He knows the only reason they let it get this far is because, damn, they're not going to pay me. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to pay Le'Veon Bell, they already would have paid him. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. They're going to hold out for as long as they can until he runs out of money, until he thinks, fuck, I can't lose any more money. I got to go back. And I think that day will probably come like next week. He's going to lose another fucking $1 million this week. $855,000 to be exact. So he lost $855K not played. He makes $855 a game. So he lost $855 in week 1. He's set to lose another $855 this week. I think he can fucking hold out until week 10. like that's the whole thing. Like, yeah, they tagged him, but now he's within his right? Within the contract. I think it's week 8, but it might be week 10. I think it was week 8 though. Des Bryant's done, fuck. Well, the NFL owners take advantage of the NFL players because the NFL Player Association is weak. Like, there's no league that the league dominates and takes over like the players like the NFL. I mean, it's the only league without guaranteed contracts. It's ridiculous. So it's week 10 now. Yeah, but they're not going to want him back in week 10. The whole thing is Le'Veon Bell doesn't want to get tackled. That's another thing. Like, Le'Veon Bell knows, and I already knew this, and he even said it. He wasn't even hiding it. He even came out and said it. He's like, these guys know they're going to give me the ball like 400 times. Like, he goes, I know what's going to happen. He goes, I'm going to come back. They're going to give me the ball like 400 times. They're going to run my ass into the ground. He knows this. So I think he's thinking, fuck it. I'll hold out to week 10. I'll get paid. Like, a team's going to give him big money next year. If he doesn't play all year this year, he's still, he has to show up at week 10. So not to, violate the terms of the deal. Sort of like Kawhi Leonard. You can't just not show up, That's why Kawhi had to show up to the Raptors. He didn't really have a choice. Fuck. Otherwise, he was really going to start voiding money. So, and NBA is real money. It's like, all right, Kawhi, you don't show up to Toronto, you don't get your $27 million. And that'll make you show up. Fuck. Oh, 27 mil. Le'Veon Bell's thinking, fuck it. Fuck. It's $14 million. I already have like 60 in the bank. I'll get signed no matter what anyways. Fuck the Steelers. Like, I think Le'Veon Bell just hates the Steelers now. That's what I think. I think he hates the Steeler organization. I think that now he doesn't like the offensive linemen. They all talk shit about him. I don't see how, like, he's going to fucking accept that. And like I said, I'm not saying he's right, but I'm just calling out for what it is. I don't even think they want him back in the room, to be honest, at this point. Word is Le'Veon Bell told the offensive lineman that he was coming back. That's the supposed thing, that he told a couple of them, don't worry, I got your back or whatever. But because they called him, are you coming or what? He was like, yeah, well, and then he didn't. But like I said, that's between them. They should have gone public with that. Yeah, Big Ben should shut up as well. It's easy for Big Ben to run his mouth. He already been paid. That's another thing too. It's a violation to talk about another player's contract. It really is. Like, players don't do it. You're not supposed to do it. Exactly, will be. That's what he's thinking. Save the wear and tear, and this whatever. He'll be fresh for the playoffs and the Steelers. But football is a team sport. I'm with Lou on that. I get it. Football is a team sport, but I'm not so sure they'd want him if he actually held out to week 10. Like, I personally, that's my whole thing. I thought that the Steeler players overreacted to Le'Veon Bell not being there. It's like, chill out, guys. It's week 1. Fuck, you're playing the Cleveland Browns. What do you want to panic for? He's gonna show up. Chill out. Fuck, you just made it worse. Like, all them talking probably just delayed him coming back. He's probably thinking, fuck it. I'm going to come back for what? Fuck, for the Roonies who don't want to pay me, for fucking the offensive line who all fucking talk shit about me. What am I coming back for? Well, I rarely agree with you, Kid the Groove, but I will on this. The Steelers don't pay players. That's the thing. They don't want to pay players. Like, the Steelers will pay you the first time, like they paid Bell, but they'll never give you the mega deal. Like, over the years, they've let a lot of guys walk once they become sort of stars. Like, they're like, all right, you're done, and then they create a new star. They didn't want to pay Mike Wallace, and then Antonio Brown became the star. The only Pittsburgh Steeler player that has publicly supported Le'Veon Bell is Antonio Brown, because he's a star and he understands it. So Antonio Brown's the only one. Like, when all the Pittsburgh Steeler players were talking shit and tweeting about Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown put a picture up on Twitter and said, my brother, fucking, like, him arm in arm with Le'Veon Bell. So no, it's true. It's true. Hey, we'll move on from this. You're right. The NFL is a cold world like that. They don't pay. You're right. That's why they didn't want to. That's why they didn't want to pay Khalil Mack with the Raiders. The Raiders are like, there's no way in fucking hell. John Gruden admitted it. He goes, we didn't offer anywhere near what the Bears did. Like, John Gruden didn't even hide it. He didn't say, oh, well, we offered him a lot of money and he didn't take it. No, John Gruden said, he goes, man, we could never match $23 million a year. He goes, we didn't offer him anything near that. Like, he didn't even hide it. And Derek Carr makes a lot of money. Derek Carr's done with the Raiders. I'm telling you. Sooner than you think. Fuck. Carr won't be a Raider next year, I bet. Derek Carr will be done. Derek Carr makes a shitload of money. They're going to get rid of him. Like, Gruden doesn't like paying players either. Gruden, like, that's the NFL though. Exactly. Savage Larry's right. If you're it's like fantasy sports, guys, like DFS and shit. It's like, all right, how much better is Le'Veon Bell than James Conner? I know he's better, but in the system, like, how much more numbers he's going to put up? James Conner rushed for 2 touchdowns and 131 yards last week. So, I don't know. Let's say Le'Veon Bell would have got 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, maybe 160 yards then. Yeah, what, an extra 30 yards? So you want to pay a guy $16 million a year for 150 yards a game, or do you want to pay a guy $758,000 for 130 yards a game? All right, bye-bye, Le'Veon. Like if it was me personally, I was the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would trade him. I would trade him. They've never won with him anyways. He always gets hurt before the year is over. If he gets hurt at all this year, he's going to fucking sit out. Because if he's banged up, he's not going to go, I'm going to fucking roll. I'm going to take one for the team. He's pretty much proven he's not going to take one for the team. So, right? So if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm thinking nothing good's going to come from this, from him coming back, unless he comes back next week, and he takes everyone to the strip club type shit. Like, nothing's going to happen good out of this. Let's shop him. Khalil Mack, they got 2 first-rounders. Yeah, I'm telling you, like fucking San Francisco, there'd be a team out there that would jump. The New York Jets, fuck. I know Jet fans are pushing to get Le'Veon Bell. There'll be a team out there that would say, you know what, we'll pay you, fuck. The Dolphins, there'd be a team out there. Someone will do it. Yeah, Green Bay, but Green Bay doesn't want to do it. Green Bay should have got Khalil Mack. Now the Bengals don't need him; they got Mixon, and the Steelers wouldn't trade in the division. The Steelers would want to trade to the NFC. I think the Jets would do it. I think the Jets would do it, like they did. They brought in LaDainian Tomlinson. Le'Veon Bell's the start. He's only 26 years old. So there's franchises that would fucking pay him. Yeah, I don't know. If Le'Veon Bell was there, do they win the game? Le'Veon Bell doesn't play defense. They blew the lead. Good call by Truth. Good call, Truth. Indy. Le'Veon Bell and Indy would be great. Fuck. You know what? The Patriots would do it. The Patriots would do it. Don't think the Patriots wouldn't do it. The Patriots would do it. Fuck. The only thing is, the Steelers, there's no way in hell the Steelers would trade him to the Patriots. Like, the Steelers brought in Randy Moss. Like, the Steelers aren't adverse to bringing in a star player. Oh, yeah, the Pats would try. The Pats would come in. The Pats would offer like a lower deal. You know what I mean? The Pats would offer him a shitload of money for like 2 years. They say, listen, fuck, we'll give you your 18 million a year, but only 2 years, 36 million. But if you want to be on our team. The Bills would just be it would be a waste on the Bills. If I look at every NFL team, let me look. The Indianapolis Colts, the Washington Redskins, Indianapolis Colts, Washington Redskins, New York Jets, San Francisco 49ers. And as crazy as it sounds, even though the Raiders are just sort of wheeling and dealing, the Raiders would fucking take Bell if they could get him. I could see I could picture Bell as a Raider. But San Francisco aren't fucking around. They need, San Francisco, I could see being in the mix. I could see the Jets being in the mix. I could see the Redskins being in the mix. The Colts just don't have that type of money. The Colts would be like, it's too much for them. Those are the teams that I would say the most. You know what would be a good fit for Le'Veon Bell? Would be Seattle. Russell Wilson needs a running back. Russell Wilson needs help. If you have Russell Wilson and Le'Veon Bell, you got another wide receiver, man, you'd have bing. You'd have an instant offense. Like Russell Wilson, Le'Veon Bell, and a wide receiver, that's tough to deal with. Like, you know, if I was Seattle, Seattle would be a good fit for Le'Veon Bell. I'm not so sure they would want to pay him. TCU versus Ohio State? Nah. Listen, I don't like Ohio State, but I wasn't impressed with TCU last week, Bonser, against SMU. I think the quarterback, what's his name, Robinson? The quarterback play for TCU doesn't impress me. Right, let's roll it over to Babano. Boom. All right, so our picks in the NFL are starting to sort of come together a little bit right now. I got to tell you, somebody sent me a picture of the Laval fucking minor league Hab team, AHL team, and the guy really does look like me. I don't know who it is. Ashley Jardine tweeted. He goes, "Look like you took over and did coaching the Habs yourself." And Twitter's blowing up. Like, I look at Twitter. Usually, if I have like 27 missed tweets, it's clam chowder. But no, it's all fucking. It's all about this picture. He does look like me. It does look like me with a hockey helmet on. Joel Bouchard, yeah, that's great. I noticed the picture's a little grainy tonight here. So what do you think, Kyle Hamburg, Del Potro, huh? What do you think, Kyle Hamburg? The Atlanta Falcons going to beat the Carolina Panthers by 6 points? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. All right, let's bring Babano in right now to talk some NFL football. What's going on, Babano?
Babano? Who the hell's Babano? I'm Matt Patricia, head coach of the Detroit Lions, Gabe. You got the wrong person. Head coach of the
Like the white hat's freaking me out on you, Babano.
I know. I'm sure I scared people half to death when I had it on the round table this morning doing my little Matt Patricia thing, but I figured, let's bring it on to the late night hours too. Why not?
Yeah, the computer kind of cut in a little bit about it. Do it again. What's your Matt Patricia impression?
Babano? Who's Babano? I'm Matt Patricia, head coach of the Detroit Lions. What are you talking about? He doesn't have a deep voice, but he talks fast all the time. That's Matt Patricia, yeah.
Yeah, I love you.
Hard to do his voice, but we got the look down, Pat. Pencil, we're ready to go. We're ready to break down this card.
Stoots, the man says right on cue, the awkward intro. Like, I'm caught off guard
I know.
by this, Babano, because number one, no one even knows what Matt Patricia sounds like. Number two, Matt Patricia's a big fucking heavy guy with a beard.
I can't do that part. No.
Yeah, but so you're Matt Patricia because you're wearing a hat backwards. Like I'm missing out the Matt Patricia part of you. Your Matt Patricia impression.
All I got is the hat and the pencil. That's the best I can do. Unless I put on a fake beard. I couldn't find a fake beard, Gabe. I was actually looking. Maybe I bought a fake beard for Halloween when I was younger, and I never did.
It's like me saying, "Hey, this is my Jay-Z impression," and I know I'm just like, "Yeah, but you don't look like Jay-Z." You know, I don't understand your Matt Patricia impression.
We got the hat and the pencil. That's all I got for you. Yeah? Can't give you the beard. I don't have a fake beard.
So you have the pencil in your ear too,
and I certainly can't put the belly of his on. I don't have that kind of paunch. I drink a lot of beer, and I'm sure he does, and I'm sure he drinks that, and he drinks that beer thinking, "Boy, I don't get this slob-like paunch of mine without trying."
Yeah, but I'm thinking, Babano, if you really wanted to go all out on this, like you should have like painted a beard on, or like bought a fake beard. Like what you should have done is like
that's what I was looking for. Yeah.
You should have been patient. Said, all right, I'm going to do a Matt Patricia. I'm going to get the hat and the pencil, but I got to go to like a costume shop. I got to get the beard first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just go all out on it because now you know. Listen, I'm going to give you a mulligan on it, and maybe it doesn't have to be next week because I know it's not easy to find a fake beard in Dundas, Ontario. I'm assuming so. Well, I'm sure in Hamilton, but we'll give you a couple of weeks to put together a Matt Patricia, and you can put some weight on too. Just keep
that's
drinking.
Not happening. Yeah, keep drinking that beer. I'm not going to put on Matt Patricia weight. That's for fucking sure. I don't want to put on Matt Patricia weight. Let me make that crystal clear. I do not want to put on Matt Patricia weight.
Another.
Nor should anyone.
Yeah, like another thing is like he wears a hoodie. Like you're not even wearing a hoodie.
No, I'm not. I can break that out.
Hoodie. You don't have a hoodie?
Yeah, the problem is it's gonna be too damn hot wearing that right now. It's a warm night.
And somebody in the chat, Erie Uber, actually has a very good point. Like, and so does Van Fob. Like, you look more like Eminem than Matt Patricia. You look like you're Eminem, to be honest. Like, you look like Eminem.
I do. I can see that. Yeah. The only thing that's saving me is the pencil.
Give us an Eminem. You like to rap?
Oh boy, yeah. Trying to think. I'm trying to think which song I'm going to do. All right, Eminem, let me think. One day I was walking by with a Walkman on when I caught a guy giving me an awkward eye. She handed him off in the parking lot with his car can I don't give a fuck if it's dark or not. There we go. Just a little. Little Eminem. All right. Since this is...
Yeah, I'm still, that was great stuff. You're the best, Babano, but
I know.
We're all missing the point. Like everyone in the chat is missing the point on the Matt Patricia part here. Like you look like Eminem. You don't have a beard. You're not wearing a hoodie. You're not heavy set. Like you look like you're nothing like Matt Patricia.
No. Other than the pencil and the backward hat. You're right. Yeah.
But
I had to scramble to put this together. I couldn't really think it out, plan it. I had no fake beard lying around anywhere. I got to put some pillows in my chest here to make it look like I'm big too, if I'm going to do that. I just can't put on 250 pounds, Gabe. It's not possible.
Larry Wawa says you look like me. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh, he's going to put his hat on backward now. We're going to see. I know that's where he's going, yeah.
All you guys at SBR with your backward hats, like Jimmy the Bag, he wears it forward.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually right. We both got a white hat, too. I got my IFBC. That's all this is. This is my IFBC hat. Yeah.
So who wears it better, guys? We both have a black T-shirt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we can have a looks competition right now. Who's got the better look right now? Who's got the better vibe? It's pretty.
It's kind of fucking creepy.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird because I don't think I've ever worn a hat in like 7 years, 8 years at least, let alone backwards.
Yeah. Hey guys, look at me. I'm Matt Patricia. like I don't look like Matt Patricia. I have nothing like Matt Patricia at all.
Face wise, yes. Weight wise, yes. Can't argue with that. No.
I gotta tell you, like Ryan Haynes. What's up, Haynes? Like Ryan Haynes is saying, no one is joining the chat right now and saying, "Fuck, look at these two dudes. They look just like fucking Matt Patricia."
No. The only thing I've got going for it again is it's supposed to be the backward hat and the pencil reference. I can't put the beard. I can't grow a beard overnight. I can't put on 200 pounds overnight. I got to have time to plan it out and do it the right way if I'm going to really look like Matt Patricia. If I'm going to become Matt Patricia, I've got to fully dive into it and get time to like put myself together properly.
Yeah, you blew the bit.
Yeah.
It's like Bob, good to see you, Bob. It's like the worst Matt Patricia lookalike contest ever. Like, yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, if we can't get thumbs up for this,
all right, big.
I like the pencil look though. You got to keep the pencil and the hat look going.
I like it. Yeah. You got to have that. That's a staple of him. You got to have that.
For you. For
the Bobano look. Okay.
Yeah, for Bobano. And I actually think you should probably wrap all your picks from now on too.
I don't know if I go that far.
Yeah, like wrapping capper.
Rapping capper.
Yo, what's up? I like the Chargers. They're like lightning bolts.
Yo, sup? Gonna kick some picks. What? Yeah. Sure, that'll go over well, yeah.
We're gonna lay the 3, bitch. Yeah, no, exactly. You roll out like rap picks.
We're going to lay the 3 this week with the Philadelphia Eagles, man, because Ryan Fitzmagic is going to turn into Ryan Fitzshits because he's a sucker. You know, you got to start.
No. Exactly. You rhyme off the stats.
Yeah.
They give up 4.2 yards a clip. They can throw the ball at 8.8 yards per pass. Like, it's sort of white guy rap, and you sort of rap out the stats.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to help you.
Exactly.
Like, I've given you so many good ideas. If you don't use them, I'm going to stop giving them to you. Like,
that's right. Ryan Fitzpatrick, chucking picks and not sucking tits. Yeah, that's Ryan Fitzpatrick's life.
Yeah, we get it, Bonzer Wolf. Yeah, that is okay. Babano, if you want to get the tits part in there.
Yep.
Okay, so speaking of Ryan Fitzpatrick, you got to believe the Philadelphia Eagles are not going to be 3-point favorites forever.
No,
like, I can't believe it hasn't gone up. Like, I was talking about this today, and I said I think that week 2 could be the trickiest of all the weeks, Babano, because you think, week 1 is hard, yet you could fall for what you saw in week 1, and it could be totally irrelevant. Like, there's going to be completely different results in week 2. I almost just think you should bet the opposite of everything that happened in week 1 almost here. But it's amazing to me that the Eagles are only 3-point favorites against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game.
I'm on Philadelphia. Best bet on the show today on the round table for me. I'm all over this Philadelphia side. I mean, you've got a lot of advantages here going the Philadelphia Eagles way, Gabe. You've got obviously the extra time since they played Thursday night against Atlanta. You've got a dominant, swarming defense that played lights out, played tremendous in the red zone. And this is the kind of situation I love. A mediocre journeyman quarterback his entire career. That's essentially what Ryan Fitzpatrick's been. Plays one of the best games of his entire life last week against the New Orleans Saints. You can't expect, I certainly don't expect a quarterback that's been nothing more than meandering at best for a decade plus in this league to suddenly play that way again. This is a regression situation for me waiting to happen for Ryan Fitzpatrick here against a much better defense that he'll be playing here in this football game. I think he's going to end up struggling big time here against this Eagles team. Now, the Eagles offense is no great shakes. We saw Nick Foles and the offense sputter a bit, but they got things going a bit in the second half, and it's not like Tampa Bay's defense is any good. They may not even have Vernon Hargreaves in the secondary here.
More than that, Jason Pierre-Paul is injured. Vernon Hargreaves is out. Mika Grimes, Brett Grimes, his wife, Brett Grimes is banged up right now.
Yep.
Don Jackson's in concussion protocol. They got a ton of injuries, bro.
They do, and they give him credit for a big win in New Orleans. I'm like the rest of the world, didn't see that one coming, but this week they're going to pay the price for it. I think it's hard. You can't. Brian Fitzpatrick will not do what he did last week. He's going to straw. I think he's going to throw maybe 2 picks in this game. If you ask me, he's going up against a much different defense. I've seen this before. This quarterback that's really been a journeyman his whole life comes out of nowhere, has a great game. He's going to fall back down to earth the next game. I think it happens here. Yeah, I'm laying the 3 with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I like the Eagles here too. I just, Tampa had a nice win last week. I think they're going to regress this week. As we all know, Ryan Fitzpatrick can throw 4 touchdowns one week, but then, he can throw 4 interceptions the next week. And I think that the Eagles bubble is going to burst eventually, but I don't see it happening here. I don't think they blow them out, but I think they do enough to get it done. So we got a football game tomorrow night. This is a real good one. Total's gone up to 45 right now. It was 44. The Baltimore Ravens were 1-point favorites. Now Cincinnati are 1-point favorites, so there's been a 2-point swing. Somebody asked if I'm on baseball tonight. No, man. I'm in football mode right now. And so the Bengals tomorrow night, Babano at home. Bengals had a nice win last week, but if you dive into the numbers a bit, you would see that they gave up 380 yards. They got out-yarded 380 yards to 330. And Andrew Luck in his first game back was able to move the ball up and down the field, but they had a couple of turnovers. There were a couple of big plays for the Bengals. It was a nice win for the Bengals, but I'll tell you what, Joe Mixon, if Joe Mixon can run like that on a weekly basis, the Bengals are going to be a playoff team. I don't know if that was, that's a one-off. A.J. Green says that people are going to find out this year that Joe Mixon is as good as Ezekiel Elliott and Todd Gurley is, that Mixon is going to be the next superstar running back. We'll see. The Ravens have a good defense, but the Ravens just coming off that scrimmage with the Buffalo Bills. And don't forget, Babano, the last time these two teams played, it was the last game of the year last year when the Bengals beat them on the last play of the game to send the Bills to the playoffs. So what do you make of this game? And we'll tell people tuning in right now. The 4 of the last 5 games that these two teams have played have gone under the number, with the exception, the only game being the last game of the year last year. But what's intriguing about this series is the Cincinnati Bengals have covered 6 of the last 9 times that these two teams have played, but Baltimore have won 3 of the last 5 games. What do you make of it?
Yeah, normally on Thursday night, I don't make a case for the road teams because it's a short week. You're traveling. I try to stay away from road teams on the Thursday night game. But to me, I'm going to make an exception here. Because it's early in the season, you're still relatively fresh. You've only played 1 regular season game. There's not a ton of injuries yet this early in the season. Everybody's still, for the most part, relatively healthy. I'm going to make a case for Baltimore here. I am at +1. I mean, everyone's going to make the counter argument if they like Cincinnati here that they beat up on the beleaguered Buffalo Bills last week. And granted, okay, Buffalo's got issues, but it was still a thorough dismantling of the Bills. Joe Flacco looked confident. I still think the Bills have a decent defense, so you got to be somewhat, impressed with what the Joe Flacco and the offense did in that football game. Alex Collins
played well last week. Yeah.
They moved the football, and Cincinnati. They did a great job by them to come back and beat the Colts. And I was on the Bengals, was very happy to see that. Indy's got holes everywhere. It's a bad offensive line. There's not a lot of playmakers on defense. It's a very weak offensive line they've got. The Cincinnati Bengals now are going to have to contain this Baltimore team. I think that's going to be easy. And on the flip side, I don't think Cincinnati's run. I know Joe Mixon was great last week. Is he going to be able to run the football against this Baltimore defensive front? I don't know. I think they're going to be able to really neutralize him a little bit, put this game on the shoulders and in the hands of Andy Dalton. And if they do that, we know he's capable of playing well at times. He's also capable of making bad mistakes and bad decisions at bad times against a very good defense. And I think Baltimore's got one here. And then, of course, you throw in the revenge factor. You got Baltimore knocked out of the playoffs because of the Cincinnati Bengals and that late fourth quarter throw to send Buffalo in and put Baltimore out. This has got to be a circled game on the schedule here for the Ravens. So I still think they're slightly better than Cincinnati. I like the situation with them trying to get back at the Bengals for the playoff ouster last year, or for keeping them out of the playoffs. So, yeah, give me Baltimore here at this near pick'em.
Baltimore, says Babano. I'm going to share a little inside information with you guys since you're tuning in, and I like most of you. The dailyroto.com betting algorithm went 4-1 with its total bets last week, with its 5-star best bet totals. And this is, another millionaire maker was made. The Daily Roto won $1 million for a 7th person this Sunday. So their number has 46.3 for tomorrow night's football game. They've got a 1-star rating on the over. Their computer. It's not like a handicapper. It's 100% a machine. So the machine says 46.3 points in this football game tomorrow. Listen, the total was 44. It's been bet up to 45. What do you think of the total of this game?
Well, if you're betting strictly on, you got to equate what Roto Machine saying 46.2 to your power ratings. If you see a total of 45 here, but your ratings say the total's 46.2, it's not like you got a ton of value either way to bet over or under. It's pretty close to what the computer's got in this instance. So you got to be careful. If you're betting the difference between what your numbers are and what the numbers are of something else, or of the line, I should say, then it's the discrepancy, the difference. The larger the difference, the bigger the perceived edge is that you have. But there's not much there. To me, there's not much either. I'd probably actually lean under a little bit, but you're always worried with both quarterbacks, but especially Dalton. These are pretty good defenses here. They make that mistake, the fumble. What happens? Short field.
Bigger under Babano between these two teams, but
yeah,
in the modern NFL, there's just not a lot of unders. You know what I mean? We see like even teams that you figure, okay, how about look at a good example? I didn't bet the total last week in this game, but I didn't expect there to be fucking 51 points in a game. And Seattle and Denver. Did you figure that game would be 27-24?
Yeah, that's the thing. No, I did not. No.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like even teams that you don't figure going into a game can end up playing a fucking track meet and a shootout. No one thought the fucking Jets were going to put 47 points up on the board, right? Like 45 is not a lot of points. Fuck, 24-21, you got to push. I mean, would it shock you? Both these teams got into the 20s. We just saw the Bengals get into the 60s. Fuck.
Yeah, that's why it's tricky with this total. This total seems like it's going to come right close to this total, to be honest with you. I mean, last week we saw an under, very, very easy under Atlanta, Philadelphia on the Thursday night game. But there's a little bit more offensive upside slightly with both of these teams, I think. And I'm always worried with these two quarterbacks that are sometimes prone to the odd mistake. You get that mistake happening deep in your own territory, you're suddenly turning the ball over there and you're giving the other team a short field. And we know that can quickly blow up an under very quickly. Yeah, for me, I'm neutral on the total. I'll just stick to Baltimore here.
Yeah. Carolina and Atlanta is an interesting game. Spread's gone up to 6 right now. People are assuming that Matt Ryan and the Falcons are just going to bounce back. I don't know. It's hard to lay 6 points with the way Matt Ryan's throwing football right now. I mean, look, I seem to be the only one in the world that, or at least in the handicapping world, that believes in the Carolina Panthers. And we're 1 win closer right now to getting to the 8.5 wins after an easy win against the Dallas Cowboys. So now they get 6 points against Atlanta. All the trends point to Atlanta bouncing back after the loss, going back home. Carolina coming off the win. Carolina, the injuries just keep mounting up. Yet it's 6 points, and it's pretty chunky points. Like, it's amazing to me. Like, Carolina just never get respect. People just don't like them. People don't like Cam Newton, so you get value with them all the time. So, I mean, they were laying 3 to the Cowboys. They were up by 16 all game. They ended up winning by 8. Now they're getting a full 6 points right now. It's a pretty chunky number, but I can understand the argument of people like Atlanta, but I don't like laying 6. What's your take on this?
I bet Atlanta small, and I'm probably going to stick with it, but I was a lot more confident with Atlanta here in this spot before the injury news defensively for them. Deion Jones is a big loss. I mean, that's just a terrible blow for them on the defensive side of the football. His injury, he's on IR with that broken foot. Keanu Neal in the secondary, great safety.
Devastating
ACL injury, out for the season as well. I mean, that is 2 not just good players, one of your 2 counted on players defensively on that side of the football for Dan Quinn's team. And to be out with both of them now long term, that's an issue. Now, it's an issue Cam Newton and this Carolina offense can take advantage of. That's the question. Greg Olson's not going to play, the tight end. Their offense sputtered a lot last week against Dallas, but they relied on their defense, did just enough to come out of there with the win. But it's tough because I don't trust Carolina's offense on the road, but now you got two key cogs defensively out for Atlanta. It makes it a wash for me. And on the flip side, Atlanta's offense, I think, they focused all week long on the red zone. They know they have to improve. It was dreadful against Philadelphia. That's the concern with.
It can't improve, Bavano. It is what it is. It's been the same way for years. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they can keep trying to practice it, Gabe, and as you said, prepare, focus on it in practice, try to get better. But until you actually execute and improve this production in the red zone, we're still waiting on it. We were waiting on it all last year. We're waiting on it last week. I still think, there's issues with play calling. I'm not going to go into Sark again. I've done that enough. Matt Ryan's making bad throws at times in the red zone, so it's not always Sark, but it's a combination of both. But the bottom line is production's not good enough in the red zone. What do you got to be able to do when you're laying 6 points against anybody? Got to be able to turn red zone opportunities into touchdowns and not settle for field goals. I'm not trusting Atlanta to do that right now. So I was liking Atlanta in this spot early in the week. They've actually done well historically, very well against Carolina, but less and less like them now, especially with the injury news coming down.
I think when I look at this game, I think that I think it's whoever has the ball last wins. They're division rivals. I think it's going to be a real battle. And I think Carolina's too good to give 6 points to. They just are. Carolina's going to be able to move the ball in Atlanta. Atlanta will move the ball on them. I think there'll be points put up on the board in the football game. And I wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta won, let's say, like, what's the total of this game? Let me see. It's 44.5. I think it's a little low.
Could you remember these Atlanta totals when Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator?
55 and shit.
You were getting 50s every week. Now look at the difference a couple of years makes with this Atlanta offense. Wow, we're getting like 40s now, week after week, barely mid-40s.
There's a lot of low totals this week in the NFL, actually. There's quite a few low totals. I mean, look, Babano, it's like the fucking preseason totals were higher than the regular season ones. Yeah. I mean, remember the preseason, everyone was 43 and 44, and same thing here. I mean, the Bills total is only 43, feels a little low. The Bengals total, we talked about it, opened 43. It's up to 45 right now. So I'm surprised that this total is what it is. I find it to be a little low, and I'm just looking at the history between the two teams. And so last year they played to the under. Very, very interesting. So the home team won both games last year. Atlanta won 22-10, and Carolina beat them 20-17. Atlanta's gotten the better of them in the last few years, but that was going back to 2 years. 2 years ago when Atlanta won the Super Bowl, they beat them both times. But Carolina was in a Super Bowl hangover year that year. But I would expect this game to be real close. If you look at Carolina now, so Carolina won this game 16-8, Babano in week 1. They lost that playoff game last year, but they covered to the Saints. It was a close game. You go back to last year, and pretty much every fucking game is pretty motherfucking close. Like I just think 6 is too high. It wouldn't shock me if Atlanta won the game outright, but I think 6 points is too high.
And of course, there's also issues with Luke Kuechly. I mean, his status up in the air for this football game as well. For the Carolina Panthers. Of course, he got injured at the end of the Dallas game. He's questionable. I'm more interested in the over if Kuechly doesn't play, because I'm thinking to myself, what a big loss that would be for Carolina, given the way Atlanta sometimes likes to do things. Screen passes and little dump off passes into Coleman and Freeman out of the backfield. Maybe you get Austin Hooper at the tight end spot involved more if Luke Kuechly doesn't play in this game. And it's going to be contingent. If Kuechly doesn't play, this pass rush for Carolina has got to show up and step up. Kayvon Short, guys like that, going to have to really elevate their game if Kuechly's not on the football field. If he doesn't play, Gabe, I'll be a little more interested in the over if he doesn't, because you're talking about a change the way your defense plays guy out for Carolina, probably 2 of them out for Atlanta. That could open things up for the offenses here if he doesn't play.
So, we could try to blast through every game. I guess, we can go rapid fire. We won't break down every game. I'll just sort of bring up
the spread. Quick. Oh, yeah, every game.
I'll bring up the spread for every game.
Yep.
We'll speak again on Friday anyways, but I'd rather just sort of let you focus in on the games that you like or you want to talk about. So you got the Browns and the Saints. It's 8 points, total 49.5. And this one to me, I don't see how there's not a lot of points in this game. I mean, New Orleans' offense Drew Brees is going to be in a bad mood, all pissed off after losing last week. They still hung 40 up on the board. I could see them hanging 40 again in that range, 35 to 41, 42 points. I know Cleveland's defense is a little better, but, they got to 42 in the pouring rain last week against Pittsburgh, and Cleveland's offense played like shit and still got to 42. I look at this, and I think it goes over. I don't know who's going to cover. I think you can make an argument for both teams, but I do think it'll go over the number. I'd be surprised if this was a low-scoring game. The Saints probably win like fucking 41-24 or something like that.
Yeah, I'd like to think New Orleans shows up defensively, but I don't know. I'm not at all sure because
I know it's one of those games where it's tough, isn't it? I don't know either.
That bothered me last week. I mean, that's Ryan Fitzpatrick of all quarterbacks just torching you, and not just torching you with little short to intermediate passes, burning you deep down the football field for these 40, 50, 60-yard bombs, one after another, multiple big play touchdowns from him and the Bucs in that game. Marshawn Lattimore, I was hoping he'd make a big impact, and he had a dud of a first game. He was burned repeatedly in that secondary for the Saints. So they had issues. I mean, their pass defense was a concern. Now, can Tyrod Taylor do something and take advantage of that?
Tyrod Taylor throws a good deep ball.
Yep.
Tyrod Taylor throws a good deep ball. Like, listen, it was his first game with the Browns. It was raining. It was against the division rival Steelers. It was a weird game. And Taylor got better as the game went on. You look at his stats, and he was 15 of 40. It's fucking ugly as hell. But he ran for a touchdown. He threw the touchdown to Josh Gordon. They came back. They scored late 14 points. He tied a football game. Now you go into a dome against the Saints defense. It was supposed to be good, but they got torched last week. And, Josh Gordon's going to be on the field more this week. He was kind of limited last week a little bit. They're going to start expanding his role and his time and place on the field. Jarvis Landry is Jarvis Landry, if anyone's wondering. 15 targets, 7 catches. So, they're going to be able to move the ball, Cleveland, but I just don't trust them enough. They're the Cleveland Browns. I took them last week. We got lucky. We took them, not lucky. We won. They covered, but doesn't mean I want to take them every week. But I don't trust the Saints. To me, the safest bet and the best bet in this game is the over.
The over. I'm leaning Saints. I'm still actually leaning, even -8 right now where it is. I'm leaning Saints. It's the only way I could go sidewise because I'm thinking last week, here's Cleveland feasting on +5 turnover margin. How do you come out of that game and not win it? How is it possible you're +5 turnover margin against Pittsburgh and you don't win that game? Here's Cleveland fans and people that back them saying, what a great performance. That's not great. Should have actually won the football game when you're +5 in turnover margin like that. I've still got to see Cleveland now. That was at home, too, against a division rival. Now you're outside the conference on the road against an angry team. I'm going to look toward New Orleans here. I have to. I'm not buying the Browns just yet.
All right, but Banner's not buying the Browns. And, obviously, they haven't won, and they still haven't won a game. No. They're off to their best start in like 14 years somehow.
Best start in 14 years, and it's a tie, yeah. That tells you all you need to know about how shitty it's been.
There's no line in the Houston Texans-Titans game. The Colts and the Redskins is interesting. It's almost like overreaction 101, actually, in the sense that I didn't see that coming from the Redskins last week. I'm a big Alex Smith fan. I always defend him. I'm a big defender of Alex Smith. I think he's a great quarterback and a winner, but I didn't think he'd be able to pick apart like the Cardinals like that. And they just dominated them. Adrian Peterson, 96 yards. Everybody played well. The defense was swarming. Now they go back home. Just seems like the point spread's a little bit high. Now, listen, you brought up Indianapolis's problems earlier, and I can't disagree. Offensive line issues, their depth's a little thin on defense, etc. But it doesn't mean that they should be getting 6, in my opinion. I think the point spread's too high here. The Redskins shouldn't be 6-point favorites, in my opinion.
I tend to agree. And that's for someone that was against Indy last week. Look, this is the week where you see these massive over-adjusted point spreads based on one game. Not 3 games, 4 games, 1 game in a long NFL season where everybody plays 16. You got to be careful. And as great as Washington was last week, tremendous, dominant. Alex Smith was phenomenal. The defense was outstanding, flying to the football, getting into the backfield, shutting down David Johnson in impressive fashion. That's what was really impressive for me. for Washington defensively. Sam Bradford couldn't get anything going. The offensive line for Arizona ripped apart. But now you're in a different point spread role now. You're back home. You're laying a full 6 here. The one thing the Colts still have is backdoor potential with a guy like Andrew Luck. And remember, the Colts were up in that football game last week against Cincinnati, outgained the Bengals by 50 yards despite losing the game 34-23. We remember the Colts are driving to maybe take the lead or win the game before that fumble by Jack Doyle in the red zone returned for a touchdown, which sealed the game for the Cincinnati Bengals. So this is the 1 point spread I would be willing to back Indy.
They racked up 380 yards. Like you said, it's Andrew Luck's first game back. You know, he was out there. He threw the ball a million times. You know, he's shaking off the rust a little bit. He'll start to get more in sync with his wide receivers again as they go along. You know, laying 6 with the Redskins, that's pretty ambitious. You know, like, you lay 6 with the Skins, you got to hope they show up and play a perfect game again.
This looks like one of those games where every public, casual NFL bettor is going to see Washington beat up on Arizona, Indy lose to Cincinnati at home, and think, wow, Washington's going to crush Indy here. Lay the 6, lay the 6, lay the 6 all day, all day, all day. Doesn't always work that way in the NFL. This smells like a down-to-the-wire game from start to finish.
I'm talking myself into the Colts. Like, I'm coming close to putting him in a super contest, like talking myself into them. Like, I think that it's starting to stand out to me, this game.
Hey, and you know what I noticed? When Andrew Luck was right, Gabe, early in his career, before all the injuries creeped up, when Andrew Luck was playing really good early in his career with Indy, this is the kind of point spread range that his Colts teams were money in. Would they be down 7 or 10 even late in the game, and they'd backdoor you with a late touchdown with a minute to go? And I could smell something like that happening here. Even if they're down 7 or 10 late, Andrew Luck can get you with a touchdown late to get you inside the number.
That's the whole thing. I totally agree with you. And you know, last week it was a bad roll for the Indianapolis Colts, laying 1.5 points in that game against the Bengals, and we were on the Bengals. We could sense it was a bad spot, and the Bengals were the better football team. Yet this is where we can take advantage of the public perceptions and the big wild swings into the next week, in which the Redskins aren't 6 points better than the Indianapolis Colts. Like, you know, now coming into this game in week 2, like I said, to me, this is another one. Redskins probably win. But I like what you said. You know, the Colts could be down 10, and Andrew Luck's going to throw the fucking ball 52 times. So we're always going to be in it. T.Y. Hilton can make a play. Grant looked good last week. The Ryan Grant, wide receiver, good fantasy, cheap player this week. I think the Colts can hang around here. All right, what else is in the rotation? We got the Chiefs and the Steelers. This game, the numbers come down to 4. Love the over here at 52.5.
Yeah, I bet it at 50. I'm already on that. 50. As I knew this. I looked at it early in the week. I said it's 50 right now. This number can only go up, can it? Pittsburgh's defense has question marks. Kansas City's defense, which I've ripped on all preseason. Don't be fooled. The Chiefs last week, they won because of their offense, and Mahomes and Hill were phenomenal in that game. Chargers moved the ball up and down all game against Kansas City, but
the Chiefs didn't dominate the game. You're right. They won by 10, but they didn't dominate the game. Keep talking. I can hear you. But yeah, you're right. They didn't. You're right. You called him, man. I'll give you credit. You won that debate with me. But to be honest, I never came out saying I thought the Chiefs defense was great. My debate was the Chiefs go over. 7.5 wins.
Which they still could if you're going to get Pat Mahomes playing like that.
I said, yeah, but their offense is going to be awesome. So, and we see their offense is pretty awesome.
It definitely can be. I mean, when it's a healthy offense, with all the weapons you've got for this Kansas City team, and I can't figure out the Chargers. I mean, you've got so much talent, and you play that poorly defensively. It looked totally like a coaching mismatch. It looked like Andy Reid, as usual, with extra time to prepare, whether it's going into week 1, whether it's off a bye week. Andy Reid somehow got his team ready to play and play at a high level. Anthony Lynn did not have his team ready to play at a high level last week for the Chargers. Penalties, miscues, fumbles, bad special teams, everything that could go wrong for the Chargers did go wrong. Offensively, I thought they were fine. They just, there was one bad Rivers interception in the red zone. They could have scored probably over 30, if not 40 themselves, but they kept stubbing their toe. But give Kansas City's offense credit. They're going to have to carry the load for this team right now, early in the season, just because the defense, I think, is so porous. And maybe it gets a little bit better when Eric Berry finally returns. And I think it will a little bit, has to get a little bit better when they get Eric Berry back, but we don't know when that's going to be. I think they're going to be in tough here. They're going to give up some points, but I think they're going to score some points on this Pittsburgh defense too. In this football game. Tough travel spot for Kansas City. You're on the West Coast in LA last week. Now you're on the East Coast playing on the road again in Pittsburgh here against a Pittsburgh team that's probably frustrated that they only ended up with a tie against Cleveland last week. But don't sleep, by the way, on James Conner. Okay, I thought James Conner ran hard, ran well. I know everyone's going to be upset in Pittsburgh and Steeler fans about Le'Veon Bell not being there and the holdout situation, but I like what I saw of James Conner last week for the Steelers in that game. But I think we see points. I already bet it over 52.5. I'm actually, believe it or not, kind of leaning Kansas City here as much as I've ragged on them, just because I don't know if Pittsburgh, with the stuff going on off the field, with their defense on the field, is it enough to, win by 5 points or more in this game? That's the question mark. But I know it's a tricky spot for Kansas City. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention too about the Colts game, one last thing. They've got to develop a running back here. They can't have Andrew Luck like last week throwing 53 fucking times in the game, 53 pass attempts last week for Andrew Luck. I don't care who it is. I know Marlon Mack didn't play last week, but Marlon Mack, Jordan Wilkins, get one of these guys to, and commit to running the football with them. Because as good as Andrew Luck could possibly be, still got a patchwork offensive line. You don't want him taking too many hits and dropping back and throwing the ball as much as that. So if I'm Frank Reich moving forward, we got to try to integrate one of my running backs and get them some touches here. It's just you're playing with Andrew Luck's health long term. I think if you're putting him in a situation where he's got to throw the football 53 times like he did last week, 53 times he threw that football. That's unbelievable. So I think if you're Indy, it's time to settle down and at least try to run the football. Try to see if one of your running backs can be somewhat productive, somewhat be able to keep defenses honest. Interesting to see if they do that. Moving forward here. Let's see. What else have we got? Let's go on down the card here while we wait for Gabe. We got Minnesota, Green Bay off the board. Aaron Rodgers' status is up in the air. I know he came back and played against Chicago, but from what I've read, he was not in practice today. Questionable. Don't know if we're going to see him back. Of course, we know the miraculous comeback led by Rodgers last week in that football game against the Bears. Rodgers, yep.
Yeah, Rodgers.
It's up in the air, and there's more and more word coming out of Green Bay that he may not play. I don't think so either. So you might be seeing DeShone Kizer here. Well, you will be if he doesn't play. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I would expect it. They'd be stupid to play him against the Minnesota Vikings, but they were kind of dumb to bring him back out there. Rodgers just fucking walked back out. He just did his thing. We'll see. I mean, Rodgers is a warrior. I mean, the guy's going to want to play. If he can play, he'll play, but. I'm sure they want the game badly because it's a division game. So they already won a division game, right? They already got that first division game against the Bears. If they could get up to, if they could be fucking 2-0, and that's what they're thinking. It's how big of a game it is, and they need to win this because they got to go to Minnesota after, and it's a big game for them. But they got to think. They got to think. Yes, this is about sports. Bitch, I'm a cow. I go moo.
What do you think we're talking about? Knitting, sewing, arts and crafts?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the title says Wicked Wednesday Sports Betting Rants and In-Game Picks kind of speaks for itself.
Are we serious here? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, people don't actually read, though, what it actually says. Hey, what's up, Pittsburgh Brew? I think you did a good job. I think Minnesota's going to win the game, Urbano. I think whoever plays quarterback, but Cam said this today, I got to agree with him. Whoever plays quarterback for Green Bay, I don't think it matters. If it's Aaron Rodgers, I'll like the Vikings because the Packers will be favorites. And if it's DeShone Kizer, I'll like the Vikings because DeShone Kizer's not beating them.
Yeah, I mean, DeShone Kizer against that defense is going to be tough. Really, really tough if Rodgers doesn't end up going there. I don't know. I'm coming away from that game with San Fran, Minnesota, and I know we'll get to San Fran later. Very impressed, even though they didn't cover in that game, with San Fran. I mean, you look at Minnesota, so many of their points were cheap points, turnover, fumble return. I thought San Fran played them very, very well. Now, I don't want to say that's a detriment to Minnesota. They didn't play well, but they had a few things go their way. That being said, yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to back Green Bay if Rodgers doesn't go against this caliber defense. That's all there is to it.
All right, guys, don't forget to join the contest, Beat the Prick. I guess you could still get in right now. Go to sportsbookreview.com. That's Beat the Prick, which basically he posts picks on a weekly basis, and you just got to beat them. So why not try to win some free money over at sportsbookreview.com /contest or
I need to
contest.
I was just going to say, I got to give ESPN some credit right now. I've got Sports Center on ESPN Sports Center. They got the Humboldt Broncos as the lead story. It was the Humboldt Broncos season.
Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. Actually, good for them. Did they win?
Good for ESPN to do that. They were up 1-0 last I looked before I came on the show. It looks like they might have. They're showing the highlights right now, so I'll find out.
Good for them. I forgot what team I saw. I don't know if it was a football team. I saw
they lost. They lost 2-1. So it doesn't matter. Score doesn't matter. It's a good night for the town. 2-1 for Nipawin.
Nipawin should have rolled over. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Give them the win here. Come on.
Yeah.
Where's your Canadian spirit here? Your Canadian
generosity. Where it's like, all right, guys, listen. Like, I'm playing like it's the first game of the year. Nipawin should have played the backups. You know what I'm saying? It should have been like, all right, the season starts after this game.
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding. Like, they competed. It's good.
No, they did a good job with the ceremony. I was watching it on TSN before it was aired nationally, coast to coast on TSN that game, and very impressive. It was a great tribute to the players that were lost on that bus crash. The coach, of course, passed away in that bus crash too. Just terrible, horrible stuff. But they came together as a community, and it just very classy, very great ceremonies tonight.
It was the Las Vegas Golden Knights. That's who it was. That's it. I saw a tweet. The Las Vegas Golden Knights tweeted out today. Good luck to Humboldt, and they left a stick. Las Vegas left a stick on the door of their fucking dressing room.
Yeah, that was good.
Which is a nice touch. A lot of people around the world, the hockey community around the world, have hockey sticks on the doorstep for the kids.
Yeah, I thought that was really nicely done. Yeah, you just hope those kids can heal and maybe play in the game again. And if going through a full season is going to help them heal. Just get back to it, and you got to press forward. That's all you can do.
Yeah. Those kids have been through a lot, man. Fucking those kids have been through a lot. All right, so speaking of been through a lot.
Well, you know what I was going to say? That's obviously at a totally different level. Different level, but yeah, the Buffalo Bills have been through a lot. Yes, they have been.
Yeah, we're not comparing. That's a bad segue, but you know what I mean. So, Buffalo Bills and the Chargers. So Josh Allen's going to start in this football game, and he can't be worse than Nate Peterman. I mean, Nate Peterman had a fucking 0.0 quarterback rating. So Josh Allen comes in here. To me, this is, the spread's pretty high here, Babano. Like, I don't know. If the Buffalo Bills get blown out in this game, I guess I'll have to admit that the Buffalo Bills really are the worst team in the NFL. I had Ted Safransky on. The videos up on Fantasy's website. Check out the graphics. It's awesome. The Sports Rage versus the Machines. The coolest picture I've ever had, I think, and logo.
Very good.
So, so the Chargers laying 7 points in this game. The Buffalo Bills historically have always been great in their home opener. Cam brought it up today about how the Bills have competed with shitty quarterbacks in this spot, the Jeff Tools of the world and the Thad Lewises of the world, etc. Yet the Chargers are clearly better than them. Now, that's what I was going to say. So Ted Safransky said that, the Chargers are going to kill him. And, Teddy's pretty tight with picks usually. but Teddy didn't hold back. Teddy's like, the Chargers are going to murder these guys. Like, they're terrible. He says, don't overthink it. The Bills are the worst team in the league by far. And, it's hard for me to argue the way they played in week 1. So, but that's just one game. What do you make of this game? Are you willing to lay 7 points with the Chargers? And to me, the total looks a little low at 43. Because if the Chargers kill them, the Chargers are going to score a lot of points.
The answer is no. I'm not willing to lay 7 with the Chargers, unlike Teddy, but I wish him luck. But I'm not at all interested in taking the Bills either. The problem for Josh Allen here is he going to have 5 new offensive linemen, 5 different offensive linemen trying to block and protect for him this week? No. The answer is no. He's going to have the same shitty lot that unfortunately Nathan Peterman had last week, that he had last week and that he had in week 3 in the preseason. That offensive line is just a pathetic unit. There's no time for any running back to find space. The quarterback's under duress the whole time. And I feel bad for Peterman. Peterman's, people are going to say he stunk, and you're right, he was not good. But once the score got away from the Bills and the sacks piled up, he was just trying to force something. He was just trying to make a hope throw, one hope throw after another. And unfortunately, it ended up in disaster every time. I kind of feel bad for Peterman. I know everyone's piling on and laughing and criticizing him, but he's got a Civ O-line in front of him. Maybe Allen's a little bit more adept to handle it, but gosh, that offensive line's just terrible. My issue, though, is do you trust the Chargers? 10 a.m. Pacific start time on the West Coast after the blunders and penalties and turnovers and mistakes they made and a shaky defense of their own last week against Kansas City. I don't trust either team, so it's a pass for me. Want no part of it.
Yeah, it's an ugly game. It's a tough – week 2 is tough. It's tough. It's like, you don't really know. Like, we all go in. It's funny. Everyone bets like week 1 of the NFL. Like, it's crazy. Like, oh, I got to get week 1. Football's back. Fucking crazy. Let's go nuts. Let's go nuts. And now it's week 2, and already I'm like, I don't know about this team. And I'm not sure about that game. I'm like, I don't know if that team's good or not. And I'm not sure if last week was just a fluke. And, yeah, week 2 is always a tough one. Like it gets easier in like week 4, week 5, week 6. You start to figure teams out more. You can't judge teams until they play the home game.
No, exactly. We'll find out something about the Bills and the pride department here in this game as well after that kind of performance.
Not only were the Bills humiliated last week, but the Bills were also humiliated against this Chargers team last year. I think the final score was, when we went to the game, I think it was 52-24.
Yeah, in LA, yep.
Yeah, so I think it was 52-24. Like, they got fucking smashed. And, like you said, if they have any fucking pride, but they could play with pride and still not cover.
That's the thing. Exactly right. I'll tell you what, I know Teddy's hell bent on saying Buffalo's the worst team in the NFL. I'm convinced I'm definitely more and more inclined to agree with them if they lose this game by, say, 14 or more and get blown out and steamrolled again. We might be starting to look at Buffalo being team number 32 in this league.
All right. I see we got some good numbers here this evening. We had about 200 people watching. Give us a thumbs up.
Houston, Tennessee's next up. Houston. I want Houston. No line yet, but I see some
total, no point spread.
There is a 2.5 at Chris. There's a 1 minus 120 on Houston. Total 45 at 5 dimes in this game. I'll be on the Texans here. I know I was lucky to get a push with them last week against New England. Deshaun Watson didn't play well. It was a very poor game by his part. But there's a lot not to like with Tennessee. Delaney Walker's now out long-term, tight end for the Titans. That's a big loss for them. They're a banged-up football team as well going into this game. Mariota will play. That's why this line's hovering close to pick him. He returned to practice today. Looks like he's going to play, but he clearly is still trying to grasp this new offense. I think eventually he's going to be better in it, but it's going to take time. I think Houston can go on the road and win this football game. I think they got a better game in them. I still think Tennessee's going to need some time to gel on both sides of the ball. And again, the loss of Delaney Walker is huge. It's a big target over the middle. Mariota's always looked to find him through in the middle of the field. And without him, going to be a little bit trickier for Tennessee, an offense that was already sputtering last week. So I like Houston there.
I can't disagree. So you're seeing Houston minus 1.5, right? Bet Chris, huh?
Yep, around Houston minus 1 at 5 dimes, 2.5 at Chris. So a little differing numbers depending on where you look.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with your take on that game. So we got this next one in our backyard here, the Dolphins and the Jets. I'll be at the facility tomorrow at the Meadowlands Sportsbook. Of course, the stadium's right in the parking lot. So the Jets are laying 3 points in this game. This is a classic letdown spot. Everyone thinks the Jets are great. And fucking people are going crazy here in New York, and ESPN's pimping up fucking Sam Darnold as the rookie of the year already. And Jets this, Jets that. Fireman Ed is back. And it's like the Jet fans are going nuts. Yet I'm not so sure they should be 3-point favorites in the game. Yeah, they won last week. It was on Monday night. Now it's a short week. All week in New York, they're hearing about how great they are. And the Lions just fell apart and imploded. And the Lions hate their coach. Now, I've never been a big Dolphin backer. And the Dolphins always screw me, Rubano. Like I don't like betting Dolphin games. I generally stay away from Dolphin games. And I generally stay away from Jet games, to be honest with you. But I knew the Jets were going to fucking cover against the Lions. But this game, to be honest with you, I like the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins in this spot. I think it's an overreaction with the point spread. The Dolphins come in here with Ryan Tannehill. And I don't think people realize this, but Ryan Tannehill is 8-1 in his last 9 games as a starter. Like, Tannehill wins football games. He's gotten better. Like, people don't give him credit, but he's actually gotten better. And I just think the numbers. I don't know the Jets playing 3 points here. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, the Detroit Lions hate the guy that I've unsuccessfully tried to beat tonight. So there you go. But yeah, Miami and the New York Jets here. I'm going to take my Jets win and move on. I'm probably not going to bet this game at all from a side perspective, but it's one of those situations where from a value standpoint, I could probably only take Miami. But I'm going to give Sam Darnold a lot of credit for what happened the other night. I know Detroit was lousy, and when things fell apart for Detroit, there was no response. None. Zero. Waved the white flag and just absolutely folded the tent Monday night in that debacle against the Jets in the second half. But what I saw from Sam Darnold, about as hideous a decision and as hideous a throw as you can make to start that football game. Pick 6, throwing across your body, way over to the other side of the field, and it's returned for a touchdown. The way he settled down, shook it off, almost came back like it never even happened, and made big plays, got out on the bootleg, made plays on the run, accurate throws on the run, especially a couple of big ones on third down in that first half. Impressed with the poise, impressed with the ability to compartmentalize everything. Bad play, bad pick 6, shove it to one side, keep playing, make plays, get the offense rolling. Sam Darnold was able to do that in that game. You give him credit. Now he's a favorite, though. Now he's a field goal favorite. Now the Jets, and they celebrated that pretty good. I saw Todd Bowles with his post-game speech. They were a happy group of Jets, Jets. I don't fully trust them to bounce, keep it up. It's a short week, as you mentioned. You're going on the road back home on a short week. Yeah, it makes some sense, Miami. I'm going to stay away, but yeah, if you think Miami's got some value, you're probably not crazy. One thing about Miami, though, Miami played that crazy 7-hour game that didn't end till 8 p.m. last weekend. That's a bother for me. It was a long day. It was an exhausting day. You're in and out of the dressing room. You got to play. You got to stretch.
But the Jets played Monday night on the road.
Exactly. But for Miami, it's not the perfect scenario for them either. So
it's a long, draining day for them. But listen, it's too early in the year though for fatigue to kick in. I think it's too early in the year really to say fatigue will kick in for the Dolphins because they played a long game, or even the Jets because they traveled. Detroit to New York's not the big, it's not that big of a deal. It's more the adrenaline, and as you stated, the Jets really celebrated. Like they shocked the world type thing, and they've been riding the wave all week. I could get it that it's not the best bet just because it's a risky game. But I did want to bring up the fact that the last 9 games that Ryan Tannehill has started, he's won 8 of them. So we talked about the Vikings and the Packers situation. We talked about the Eagles and the Bucks. We're both in agreement that the Eagles are the play. Rams are now 13-point favorites. Now, this is a short week for them. They played the back end of the doubleheader. Arizona were fucking terrible in the first half. Arizona woke up in the fourth quarter, but Washington were playing prevent defense. But Arizona isn't as bad as they showed. What do you make of this? Is this just too many points, or do you think the Rams kill them?
If I had a clothespin, I'd pull it out of the drawer and stick it on my nose right now because this is my clothespin NFL bet of the week right here. I'm taking Arizona.
Hope for the best.
They were absolutely.
I'm going to copyright that. Everyone, Mark Lawrence is the one that invented the ugly dog and the clothespin. I'm sure someone else used a clothespin, but I'm going to call it. I'm going to have my own now. I'm going to just call it you take the team and you're taking the Cardinals and you're hoping for the best.
That's exactly. And this is not a great spot either for the LA Rams. I mean, give them credit. They dismantled Oakland. That looked like a men against boys coming out of halftime. I mean, John Gruden's first foray of trying to make adjustments and have his team ready out of halftime was not good. That was all Sean McVay and the Rams made all the plays on both sides of the football in that second half, turned a close game into a 20-point win. But they played late. We're talking Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. That game was over at 1:30 a.m. Eastern, 10:30 p.m. Pacific. Late Monday night, and now you're playing Sunday. So this is a very short week, an even shorter week than normal on a Monday for a team that played on Monday night for this LA Rams team. That's something you got to factor in. I was reading good things like you gave about, I said, that Arizona-Washington game. I was reading good things about the Arizona camp and the Washington camp going into that game. Unfortunately, it looked like the only reports were true were the Washington camp. I can't believe how bad Arizona was defensively. They couldn't stop Alex Smith. They couldn't get anything going offensively with Johnson or with Bradford at quarterback. It was a dismal performance. And I thought, there was a lot of optimism about Steve Wilkes coming into this regular season with all the things players were saying about him in the preseason. They were excited to get the season going. This is the game where if Arizona looks lethargic and looks terrible here, you really got to worry that this could be a bottom feeder football team this season. But I'm going to give them a chance. The spot's in their favor. It's a terrible scheduling situation for the Rams. The Rams could be in a spot where they don't need to win this game by 14 or more. 10-point win, 7-point win even, more than enough for the Rams to get the job done here. So I'm going to take a shot here with Arizona because I know they can't possibly be worse than last week. I don't think so anyway.
I kind of disagree with your angles and your opinion. Detroit Lions, another team that were horrible on Monday, so they're playing a short week game now. A little bit even tougher for them because they play Monday Night Football, and they got pretty beat up in the game. I'd like to check the status of Darius Slay. I'll do this quickly, actually, while you talk. And so the Lions get 6 at San Francisco. I think the Lions are going to be terrible. I think they don't like Matt Patricia. I've been saying this all along, and now today there's national reports about it, about how they don't like Patricia and blah, blah, blah. You could tell, like, I knew this. I saw this coming from a mile away. I said that Patricia will be a bad hire now. It's only one game, so I can't fucking pat myself on the back here, but I don't see the Lions really playing for this guy. I think they're going to roll over. They quit for him in the first game of the fucking year. I think they're pissed that Caldwell got fired. I don't think they like him. I think he's an asshole. And I'm not saying I know he's an asshole, but I'm saying the players think he's an asshole. So they don't like him. You saw how miserable Stafford looked. And now they go to San Francisco. Normally, I'd like the Lions plus the points in a situation like this, but I don't trust them. And I'm not going to bet the game. But if I did, it would be San Francisco or pass, and I could live with putting San Francisco in a teaser or a money line parlay because I think they're going to beat them.
I'm already on San Francisco. This is the one game where this is one of the overreaction lines, so to speak. This is one of those lines that's heavily influenced by what Detroit looked like on Monday Night Football. But this is the one game where I'm more than willing to keep zigging rather than zagging, because I really think Detroit's got problems. They got big-time problems. I mean, Ziggy Ansah, without him in the rest of that Jets game on Monday night, they had no pass rush. I mean, there was not anybody coming close to Sam Darnold and getting into his grill in the pocket. It was disgraceful to see that defense. Their secondary got carved up. Couldn't stop the run. It was a litany of issues defensively. Matt Stafford was a train wreck in the second half. I know he had to throw a lot when they were behind, but one bad decision after another. And I'm going to give San Fran a hell of a lot of credit. That scoreboard's going to read 24-16 last week, the loss against Minnesota. They were only outgained by 16 yards. I thought there were times in that game that Jimmy Garoppolo played better than Kirk Cousins, that Jimmy Garoppolo and that 49ers offense moved the football better than the Vikings offense did. On the road against that defense, Jimmy Garoppolo, I thought, made a decent account of himself.
I watched that game. We were on the air all day, but we had the games up, and I agree. San Francisco battled. Minnesota's a tough fucking place to go play, we know. And Minnesota punched him in the mouth early, but you saw Frisco showed a lot of grit coming back in the fourth quarter, just not rolling over at all. Like, they played to the final whistle. San Francisco's going to be a good team. Detroit isn't. So I could sort of see the Niners kicking the shit out of them, actually. You think they will too, huh?
I think they will, because let's put it this way. If they played Sunday 1 p.m. and you got a full week, or you got a bye week to maybe shake up the kinks, maybe get the players and the coach to come together and iron out whatever difficulties or issues they've got, you can do that. How are you going to do that when you played Monday night in Detroit and you're going to iron out these offensive issues, that you got a bad offensive line, that Stafford's struggling with confidence, that you got no pass rush on defense, a suspect secondary, coach and player issues? How are you going to fix all that when you played in Detroit Monday night and you got to fly to the West Coast for a Sunday game the very next week, for a long flight out to San Francisco? I don't think you can fix issues that quickly and with that kind of travel scenario between that game and the next game. So I'm looking at San Francisco. They don't have to blow them out. San Francisco win the game by 7, gets the job done, and I could easily see that in this game.
All right, Google Hangouts giving us a little bit of problems here this evening. It's been pretty good recently, actually, to be honest, but a little choppy here tonight. All right, what's next? What game? New England. New England's now 1-point favorite against the Jags.
I made my intentions clear in this game. I'm not betting against Jacksonville because of the situation. This is triple circled spot on the schedule, AFC Championship game, trying to get back at them for that. But man, this is still just staring at me in the face. I won't bet against Jacksonville, but I'm not taking Jacksonville. You're talking about Brady versus Bortles, and it's -1?
Yeah,
-2?
Steel City Steve is he's forcing us to put the Pats on the Super Contest team, and how can I argue with him? Fuck, it's fucking -1. Like, you know what I mean?
And maybe no Leonard Fournette for the Jaguars. Now, I know TJ Yeldon's capable. He actually did a decent job against the Giants last week after Fournette got injured.
But it does make it, Fournette is an impact player. Like, it does change the dynamic of the game. Like, Yeldon's good, but they're better with Yeldon and Fournette, right?
Yeah. And Belichick versus Marone was a mismatch in the second half of that AFC Championship game. Out of halftime, that was Belichick and Brady figuring out Jacksonville, and no response and no answers that were positive from Marone in the second half of that game for Jacksonville. So to me, I know Jacksonville wants this one. They're excited for it. They're at home. It's the home opener against New England here, team that beat them in the AFC Championship game. But this is a point spread that I cannot endorse simply because you got Blake Bortles on one side, Tom Brady on the other. How can you, it's hard for me to take Blake Bortles and a pick 'em against Tom Brady.
Here's Taylor Stevens. Taylor Stevens is here asking if you're okay, Babano. She's wondering if she thinks you have a bandage on your head.
Oh yeah. No, it's a hat. See, it's a hat. It's the IFBC hat. Yeah. We're trying to be Matt Patricia, although it was a little shaky. I didn't have a big beard or gut to go with it.
I'll blame you, Taylor, if the Patriots lose. Like, if they screw me in this contest again, it's Taylor's Patriots. They always screw me in this fucking contest. They should be able to win the game.
I've got to talk about it. I forgot. I can't believe I'm just remembering to mention this now. Let's give the New England defense credit last week. They rattled Deshaun Watson that entire game.
Yeah, without Matt Patricia.
Without Matt Patricia. Bingo. Bingo. They got a pass rush. The secondary was locked down. The red zone defense. Every time Houston got close to knocking on the door and scoring, they shut them down. They either forced a turnover or forced them to kick a field goal. That red zone defense was sensational last week for the Patriots. Any coincidence that happens with Matt Patricia gone? I'm not so sure.
It's a fun game. It's tough to pick the game without knowing the Leonard Fournette situation, and as you mentioned, it's a big revenge spot for the Jaguars. But I think the Patriots beat them. Yeah, I think the Jaguars are good, but truth be told, Babano, last week the Giants should have beat them. The Giants could have beat them. Like, Odell Beckham was open all day long. Like, Jalen Ramsey, I think, has run his mouth one too many times and done too many interviews, and he's not concentrating enough. Well, and Odell Beckham's one of the best in the league too, but Odell was open. If Eli Manning doesn't suck as much as he does, they would have beaten him. Like, Eli Manning was the problem. Like, Eli Manning threw fucking an interception at the worst possible time in the red zone. Yep. He fucking had like 5 balls fucking batted the line of scrimmage, and he missed Odell Beckham like wide open in the end zone.
Eric Flowers is committing a million fucking holding penalties again in that game. I can't believe we're still dealing with Eric Flowers on this Giant offense.
And with all that, Babano, they lost by 5. And hell, they nearly covered, but they missed a 2-point convert. It was a bad play call on a 2-point convert. They ran right up the middle. It was a stupid play. Like, they nearly covered the game, or got a push, depending on your 3.5, whatever. But, I think the Giants are going to beat the Cowboys, actually. I think Saquon Barkley was going to go crazy on Sunday night. I think Barkley's a star waiting to bust out. He had 106 yards against the Jags. But the Jags are that fucking good. You could tell the Giants' offense is good, but the Jags were just better on defense and sort of bottling it up more. But the Giants were always this close to breaking loose. I just think that Tom Brady will be able to figure it out. And Jalen Ramsey ran his mouth about Gronk. I think Gronk will be the one. I can just picture Gronk fucking spiking the ball in the end zone, talking shit to Ramsey. Patriots are going to win the game.
I can't, like I say, it's Bortles versus Brady in a pick 'em price, even though I know Jacksonville's got a great defense. But again, without Fournette, yeah, at this price range, I don't want to bet against Jacksonville because of the situation with them trying to avenge the AFC title loss. But you're not going to see me betting Bortles over Brady in a pick 'em. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Come on, I can't do it. I just can't. Sorry. I can't.
You got to take the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oakland, Denver. I'm going to keep this one brief. I won't have anything on this game. I saw enough worry out of Denver.
This game, I've been earlier in the day. I was thinking, you know what? I think the Broncos kill them. Talk about a bad spot, Babano. Same shit. Raiders play Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Ton of negativity around their team. It's already out there that, fucking Gruden's mocking fucking Carr. Like, there's a ton of gifs and videos already about him rolling his eyes and, oh, fuck. And, like, Carr's going to get moved out of there. But they go into Denver, and I'm just thinking in the second half of Bano, that altitude starts to kick in with the Raiders. And I could see the Broncos pulling away and running the ball down their throats. But I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a little bit of cold feet right now about the game.
You know what? One thing that I'm leaning Denver. I really want to take Denver, but I saw enough out of Case Keenum last week. He was not consistent. He had some bad throws, some bad interceptions. He had some good moments too. But to me, I'm still not ready to lay 6 with Denver yet with what I saw from them offensively last week against Seattle in this football game, even with the advantages of Oakland playing last week. But I'll tell you what, Derek Carr talked about how miserable he was. John Gruden frustrated with him for a bad second half. You look at the way Derek Carr's played in Denver over the years, it's been ugly. Derek Carr's not played well in times at Denver. So it's been one of those situations where I'd be a little bit concerned about Oakland here, putting up points on the road against this defense. I want to take Denver. I just think laying 6, I'm not crazy about doing it. But I'd lean Denver. Can't bet every game, but I'd lean Denver.
Yeah, I'm starting to Taylor Stevens says she just checks in. Babano has a bandage on his head, and Morency's taking the Patriots. We're in another dimension.
Exactly.
Twilight Zone. Life is strange, Taylor. Trust me.
And Giants Dallas now Sunday night. Yeah, I like the under even more than the side. I lean Giants. You get +3 in a close game, tight game, low-scoring game. 2 pretty good defenses. Very good Dallas defense, even though they lost last week. I think they're very good on that side of the ball. I think the Giants are going to struggle to move the ball. Barkley will get a good run or two. Eventually he'll break one. He'll have a couple of nice runs, but I think it's going to be tough again for the Giants to move the ball. But you saw the Dallas offense last week. It's offensive in a bad way. The offensive line's in tatters. Zeke Elliott's not running the ball effectively because it's a bad O-line. Dak Prescott's not getting time to throw, and he's been inaccurate with the ball. It's a very weak Dallas receiving core. You got Allen Hurns and Cole Beasley and Michael Gallup and guys like this. I mean, it's just not a very good Dallas offense. So I really like the under. I said I'm coming into this season betting Dallas games under the total. It worked for me last week against Carolina. I'm going to go right back to it here, under the total, and lean Giants as well.
This is an interesting game because the loser is going to be 0-2 and going to be in a lot of trouble. There's going to be a lot of trouble. There's going to be a ton of negativity. Like, people are freaking out here in New York about Eli Manning. Like, every day, and even nationally, if you look at the national, ESPN, CBS, SI, pretty much every day already, there's the Giants take this guy, Giants take Herbert from fucking Oregon, Giants like Jared Stidham, Giants take quarterback, Giants like Drew Lock. So, the Giants are going to have to draft a quarterback. Eli's on the clock here. But, the Cowboys didn't play well, but they turned it on a bit. I think that offense is going to sputter. Their play calling is predictable. It's like they never change their playbook. Everyone knows what they're going to do all the time. They run the same plays all the time. And, it's pretty predictable. So they stack, they're able to stack the box with Elliott. You can slow Elliott down. Dak Prescott can't beat you on his own. And I just look at the Giants' weapons with Ingram, with Odell Beckham, with Saquon Barkley. I think Barkley will be the difference maker in this game. I think Barkley will pop up a big run. He's going to take this personal going up against Elliott. He's going to want to showcase himself. It's going to be a real battle and duel between the two of them. But I think Saquon Barkley's the difference maker, and Giants win because of Saquon Barkley. The total is so freaking low, Babano.
It's so low, but I'm still on the under because I just don't see anything other than 20-16, 20-17, 21-17, something like that. I don't think this thing hits 40. And if it does, it's because you get pick sixes and punt return touchdowns and special teams plays.
The Daily Roto algorithm has a 4-star best bet on the Giants Cowboys under.
There you go. I can't lose it now. Daily Roto knows what they're talking about. You touted the record. What, 5-1 on totals last week?
Yeah, their projection has it. They like the under in this game. They also like the under in a Raiders Broncos game.
What was their number on the Giants Cowboys?
41.1.
Okay, I thought maybe they'd have it high 30s, but yeah, that's still under. Yeah. I say 21-17, 21-17, 20-17 sounds like the perfect score for this kind of game.
Yeah, 2017, I guess wouldn't surprise. Yeah, it wouldn't be shocking. You're right.
This smells like a Gabe Morency classic NFL Sunday night teaser game. Giants tease to the under. Could see that.
I'm under 49.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose if I do that, Babano. Like, if you notice, I teased the Bears to the under the other night, and I teased the Jets and the Rams game. But if you notice, I've actually bet less totals this year. It's the byproduct. I'll be honest. I'm not betting online. I lost my money at Bookmaker. I had money in Bookmaker. I got drunk and I got stupid on the Michigan game, and I was like, oh, I'll replace it after, and I didn't. So I've really only been betting when I go to the book. So I've been more disciplined and stuff. So I'm not going crazy with this total and that teaser and everything. And totals are tricky. If something jumps off the page of me, I'll bet it. But to me, I understand the under. It's so low, Babano, at 42. Fuck.
It's the lowest total this week in the NFL, but it's the lowest for a reason. I mean, you've got suspect quarterback play, suspect offensive line, bad offensive line play, I think, right now with both of these teams, and two good defenses. I think the Giants' defense is better this year. They might also have Olivier Vernon back. He didn't play last week against Jacksonville. We'll have to wait and see on that. And Dallas has a great pass rush. Like, let's be honest, DeMarcus Lawrence and David Irving's back healthy again. They've got some pass rushers now, and Sean Lee is obviously a better defense when he's healthy. I don't see points happening here. And if they do, they're going to be those punt return touchdowns, special teams, and, pick sixes kind of variety. Won't be because the offenses do anything.
Yeah, there's just so much playmaking ability. That's my deal on the field. Between Beckham and Ingram and Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley, Dak Prescott, just seems like the total's low. It concerns me.
Lots of good weapons, but if you don't have the O-line to properly play in front of these weapons, it's hard to move the ball. It really is, and we saw it with both of these teams last week. You had weapons, but where was the offensive productivity?
Right. Both teams'
offensive lines are just a complete dumpster fire with both of these teams right now with these O-lines.
Yeah, neither of these teams, both teams combined scores last week, 24 and 25 points.
Yep.
Didn't go anywhere, you're right. Finally, in closing, Monday Night Football. Dear God, would you imagine the Chicago Bears to be fucking favored against the Seattle Seahawks?
And yet I can only take Chicago in this game. I'm serious.
Yeah, I'm leaning Seattle. I don't love them, but the situation, I don't trust the Bears. It's similar to the Jets. It's like, all right, you guys played all right, but you also fucking melted down. The Chicago Bears, and I tweeted it, and I know Jazz Reed did it. The Chicago Bears have had a hard time playing 60 minutes of football. And I think they might have played their best football in the first half. I know they have Khalil Mack now. Trubisky's pretty good. It's their home opener. It's Monday Night Football. I don't know why they put the Bears on fucking TV as much as they do, but they do. Remember I talked about that last year, about the ratings. Fuck. Last year they bitched about the ratings. Oh, it's the kneeling. It's like, guys, you have the fucking Bears on TV 4 out of the first 8 weeks of the year on national television. Like, the networks love the Bears. Fuck. So here are the Bears on Monday Night Football. Maybe the Bears win, but I don't believe. Look, the Denver Broncos beat they beat them by 3. With all of Seattle's dysfunctionalness, they still find a way to hang around in games.
Yep. Now
you got Doug Baldwin out. That's a new problem for them. But I don't trust the Chicago Bears laying 3.5 points against I'm not going to say against anybody, but I don't trust them laying 3.5 points against the Seattle Seahawks.
But here's the problem with Seattle. because I do think Chicago's defense is decent. I know it was a tough second half for them last week, but Aaron Rodgers, when he gets hot and the magic get going, it's hard to do something about that. Russell Wilson's got to face the prospects of going on the road and operating offense with his top two receivers being an inefficient, very mediocre Tyler Lockett and an old, over-the-hill, decrepit Brandon Marshall. I mean, good. Have fun with that. I mean, Doug Baldwin to me was one of those guys that he would constantly rely on. It is a massive blow and detrimental loss as far as I'm concerned for Seattle offense. An offense that's already screaming out for more playmakers than what they already have. I don't know if they've got it in them to move the football consistently. We know how amazing Khalil Mack was. This has got to be get the football, and that's the one thing Green Bay did. They got the football out of Rodgers' hands. They went up tempo in the second half a little bit against Chicago, wear down that pass rush, wear down Khalil Mack. I mean, Pete Carroll's got to be looking at that game film and thinking, I got to do the same, don't I? I got to maybe get a little 2-3 step drop, get the ball out of Wilson's hands. I got a bad offensive line, wear down the pass rush, maybe speed up the pace and tempo a little bit, use that game plan that Green Bay used very well in the second half of Chicago. Khalil Mack was not really all that effective in the second half. Now, maybe because he wasn't in training camp at all, didn't get the reps, maybe he was slowing down, fatigue built up a little bit. Yeah. But that modus operandi on offense for Green Bay worked. Getting the ball out of hands, he didn't have the big dropbacks. Got the ball out of his hands. They ran tempo to negate the pass rush, wear it down, tire it out. Maybe Seattle goes that route too. I'm actually going to go over because I think Seattle is at least going to try to pick up the pace a little bit here in this football game. This total is only 43.5. I think it can get there, and I lean Chicago because I think they'll just be able to do a little bit more offensively and a little bit more defensively. Because let's be honest, Case Keenum moved the ball very well. That Seattle defense is a shell of what it used to be.
All right, Babano. So quickly before we get you out of here, and I got to wrap up in a couple of minutes here as well. Thursday's college football due to the hurricane. The start times have been moved up. So we got some earlier college football games tomorrow, including it's rare on Thursday afternoon. So we got Old Dominion and Charlotte. Old Dominion and Charlotte. I see that Charlotte are like 1.5 underdogs. And then you got Boston College, Wake Forest, and Tennessee. Well, Tennessee Tech, Utah State. I don't even see a number for that. So what do you think of the college football games? In fact, Bet365 doesn't even have a number up for Old Dominion and Charlotte, but I guess some other places do. So let's talk. What's your take on Boston College and Wake Forest? And then we'll on the radio on Friday we'll talk college since we did so much NFL tonight. But NFL is king. So Boston College, Wake Forest. What's your take on this?
BC in the over. I think BC's better than Wake Forest, flat out. Sam Crawford's been okay. I mean, Sam Crawford was very good filling in for Kendall Hinton against Tulane. Played very good in that. He's played very well, actually. I'll give him that. But I think BC's just a more well-rounded football team. A.J. Dillon, the running back, Anthony Brown at quarterback. I like what I've seen from Boston College. I like them coming into the season. This line's come down a bit. Just think they're more well-rounded. And I think they've a lot better defensively than Wake Forest is. I don't mind laying 4.5. Don't love it, but I'll lay 4.5 with Boston College, and I like the over too. I think you're going to get teams that are going to pick up the pace a little bit on both sides in this football game. Boston College has been lethal offensively. No one's been able to shut them down. They're putting up big yardage, big points. So I'm going to go BC in the over there. I don't think Old Dominion's any good in the other game. I could only take Charlotte. I don't think Charlotte's all that much better, but they're at home. Situationally, they get to deal with this incoming Hurricane Florence a little bit better than, say, ODU's got to travel for this game. And ODU's just not very good from what I've seen so far. So I'd lean a little to the Charlotte 49ers team in the other game tomorrow.
Ian Cameron, a.k.a. Bob Bano, going to be starting.
And I like Saskatchewan -4 against Ottawa. Ottawa's falling apart right now. Saskatchewan's red hot. Two teams going in opposite directions. Give me Saskatchewan -4 against Ottawa, and give me BC -3 against Montreal. Montreal, 2 wins in a row with Antonio Pipkin at quarterback. Johnny Manziel's the forgotten man, but they're off a bye week. Bye weeks for teams that are red hot going into the bye. I don't like it. I think it's a badly timed bye week for Montreal, and it bites them here. BC's owned them. BC's 6-0 straight up and against the spread against Montreal the last 6 head-to-head meetings. Only have to lay 3 on the road with BC. I'm willing to do that.
Badly timed bye week, says Bano. So Babano's his CFL picks are up at sportsmemo.com throughout the rest of the season, CFL season, and so rightwager.com. You jump in starting October 1st, right?
October 1st, rightwager.com. Me, the big man, and Donnie right side. Again, cheaper rates for service. So come on board with us. Rightwager.com. There we go.
You do another video, I assume, leading up to that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no.
Announce like
we'll have to make a second announcement.
Like September 28th or something like that. Hey guys, and you got to do a new video now.
Yeah, exactly. I got to announce. I'm starting the service here, the big announcement on October 1st. So just letting you all know that for the millionth time. Yeah, for the millionth time.
I'm not just saying it. You got to remind people again. You got to do another one of your famous videos.
And big announcement.
You got to announce that you're going to do a video.
Yeah, exactly.
So announce at like 10 in the morning. All right, guys, at 3 o'clock today, I have a big video announcement, and then you can do your announcement. As you know, I am starting, to join these guys on rightwager.com, Donnie and then Big Man, and you do another one. You got to pimp yourself.
I got to, yeah. I got to do a video announcement to announce the upcoming video announcement to announce that I'm starting on October the 1st. You're right.
You have to, you have to.
You're always thinking of me, Gabe. You're always getting things in order for me. I appreciate that. You're right.
You have to have an announcement to the announcement.
Yeah, exactly.
The announcement to the announcement, and you've already had the announcement, but you can do it again.
Exactly. You're always looking out for me, my friend. I appreciate that.
Just to remind people. That's what I always do. That's how I handle it. I tweet major announcement coming up. But I don't really do the videos ever. I do major announcement coming up, and then like 5 minutes later, I'll tweet the announcement.
By the way, I got to throw one out for college football. Just one more.
One
more. I'm laying 20 with Florida. Nobody's going to want Florida after last week because they lost to Kentucky. They got Colorado State coming in. Colorado State's off this whirlwind, miraculous come-from-behind win against and if you read anything about Arkansas, they are banged up beyond belief on both sides of the football, offensively and defensively. O-line's in tatters. They're missing guys in the linebacking core, in the secondary. And yes, Colorado State came back to beat them. Impressive stuff. Now you're going into the swamp. Florida's mad. I know the offense sputtered against Kentucky. Dan Mullen's going to get the offense going. I think Felipe Franks will eventually play better, and it starts here. Because Colorado State's defense, Gabe, they couldn't stop me, you, and all of our viewers on the football field right now, let alone the Florida Gators. That's a bad, bad Colorado State defense. We've seen them enough to know that. I think Florida runs it up. I've got no problems laying 20 with them at home against Colorado State. I think the game goes over the total. I think Franks and Mullen get that offense in gear this week for the Gators.
I can't disagree with your opinion. Ian Cameron, a.k.a. Bob Batto, who give us your Matt Patricia on the way out.
Oh, yeah, Matt Patricia, yeah. Good to be with you, Gabe. Looking forward to it. I can't coach very well, so I'm trying to make my way as a handicapper, making picks here on the late-night anger management class and drinking some beer because you can't get this paunch gut of mine without trying.
The worst Matt Patricia. Like I still don't, but
he's a damn hard voice to do. That's the only problem. His voice,
you gotta work on it.
Yeah, right. It's not like an Ed Orgeron voice. Like Big Man, the Ed Orgeron is a great person to do an impression of because his voice is just so unique, so different.
Exactly. He's got to do the deep Cajun. I let that chicken on a stick there down the bayou.
Go Tigers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he actually said, go Tigers. Yeah, she is hard to understand in real life.
But a Big Man, I can't get enough of that. Big Man just kills it with that impression.
Well, Big Man looks like him. That's what sells it over the top.
Exactly.
Not fully looks like him, but at least, sort of, Yeah, you and I are just like we're too skinny and white. Like we're too pale. We can't pull it off.
I got to put a fake beard on. I got to put on about 150 to 200 pounds. Then I'll look like Matt Patricia.
Yeah, exactly. Jack says he doesn't even understand it. So we all agree that it was the worst Matt Patricia impression ever.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like it's not even Matt Patricia. Like I said, you look more like Eminem, but.
Except I got the only thing I've got is the pencil and the backward hat working for me. That's it. That's the only shades of Matt Patricia on me right now.
You've had that pencil the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Look at me. I got a pencil too. Look, I got a pen on it.
Yep. Mine. Belichick. Yeah, definitely.
I got the vape.
Does that too. Yeah.
Vape pen right here.
Pen. There you go. Yeah.
Just walk around. I should just walk around with 2 vape pens on each ear at any time. Like,
We can look cool, like people like Matt Patricia. Exactly. Put pens in the back of behind our ears. We're coolest people going.
yeah, the only thing is these things blow up. Fuck, it's gonna blow up my head.
Yeah. Well, even Scott Van Pelt Sports Center, Humboldt Broncos now. Wow, that good on ESPN, because I know hockey's not their thing, but at least they're paying attention to it and I'm mentioning it and honoring it.
Always a pleasure, Babano.
All right, Gabe. We'll see you on Friday on the radio, 5 p.m. Fantasy Radio, Red Heat and Rage. Good night, everyone. Good luck this weekend. Crush those books. See ya.
There's Ian Cameron, a.k.a. Babano. Great stuff with Babano. An extended stay. We got to wrap up the show as we can only go so long here. It's getting late in the hotel. I had to wake up at 6 in the morning. We'll give you a little bit more next week, as I won't be on the Carton show when I'm in Canada next week, because Carton hates fucking phone and video guests. So I'm just going to call in with the picks on like Thursday and Friday. Whenever it's like a game on Friday, NFL picks and everything, I'm going to call in the Carton show, but I won't be on. I only thought of that tonight, actually. I was like, oh, yeah. So I won't be waking up at 6 in the morning at least. So I don't even know where we're gonna do the show Friday, to be honest. I'm checking out of here Friday. I'm not even sure if I get the fucking keys. Like, this is a shit show, to be honest. I'm like Homer Simpson. I'm just gonna go to bed and I'm gonna wake up and hope everything's gonna be magically all right somehow, which it won't be, but I'm just hoping things won't be worse somehow in the morning. Oh God. But yeah, we're going to be in fucking Toronto on Sunday night. We're going to be in Toronto Sunday night, and next week we'll be in Toronto all week / Kitchener. I'll be in Toronto, Kitchener, and Mississauga, all 3. And it's funny because before it would have pissed me off traveling, but I'm so used to traveling now that it won't even bother me. It'll be like, because before I was like, I'm not going back and forth to Kitchener to Toronto. Maybe I'll do it once or twice, but I'll just bite the bullet and stay in Kitchener. But now I'm thinking, I don't have a choice. I got a lot of shit to wrap up in Toronto. So, like, this has been a real whirlwind from the eye of my, from my mother passing suddenly, where I got and jumped on a plane out of the blue, to the IFBC in Vegas, back to Vancouver, to here. Like, I've literally been on the road now for like a fucking month or something. It's getting pretty crazy. It doesn't end. That's the whole thing. It's not like, oh, I go back to Toronto and it's peaceful. I go back. I got to deal with the band shit. I got big stress now. I got a problem with Homicide. I didn't talk about here tonight with the band. I got to deal with. I got to get my shit out of the condo in Toronto. I got to do this show. I got to do the radio show. I got to rehearse with the band. I got to record a record. So it's not like there's any leisure time coming up. Fuck. It's all good though. It's better to be busy than to fucking have nothing going on. I'm blessed to have the opportunities that I do, so I'm not complaining about it. There's just a lot of obstacles that I must deal with that I wish I wasn't dealing with, but nevertheless, that's everyone's life. I appreciate the kind words, Ghoster. Thank you very much, Jason Finley. Thank you, Chris Edge. You're tuning in every morning, staying out of the chat. I appreciate that, Chris. Thanks, Chris Blanchard. You guys rock. I appreciate all the support. Without you guys, there is no show. So you guys deserve the credit. McKinnis, you're a class act. Look forward to getting you on the show again. MVP Sports, Kid the Groove, Sonny Betts. Yeah, no, we're good, Sonny. It'll just take me a couple of days to get into a groove when we're jamming. Thanks, Sean Thompson. Thanks, Kyle Hamburg. Thanks, Goldster, Shano, and everybody else, Mohammed Jamba, Javier Castro. Give us a thumbs up if you didn't. Thanks, Matthias, your class act buddy in Germany. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't. Support SBR. Join the Beat the Prick contest. Try to win the money. And when you get in a sports book, over to SBR and support them. That's all you got to do, and you get the free. You're getting this free content. Are the Eagles going to the Super Bowl? I don't think so. See you later, Anthony Greer. See you later, Javier Castro, Van Fob. Other than that, you're on your own. We got Terry Bradshaw with Carton and Friends in the morning. We'll be on Red Heat and Rage tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Red Heat and Rage probably from the Meadowlands FanDuel Sportsbook, and tomorrow night maybe from the Sportsbook if I'm in a good mood. And if I'm not, you'll see my sorry ass right here again. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.